Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my top 50. I almost said top 10. My top 50 hottest video game fighting characters. Fighting game characters. So this is a list I kind of decided to do out of the blue. As you know, I've done top 10s and stuff, but I don't usually do top 50s or like really long lists like that. And there's not really any big reason for deciding to do it. I love fighting games, I always have, and I like a lot of the characters from them. But this list is specifically for attractiveness to them. So let's go over the kind of rules, regulation kind of things. First off, like I said, it's about attractiveness. And with this one, I'm kind of leaning mostly towards physical attractiveness. With a very minor touch of character and personality and all. But it's mostly about physical attractiveness here. This list also can have multiple characters from all the different fighting game franchises and stuff. Because obviously it's a top 50 list. So there's going to be a lot of characters from, say, a lot of Tekken characters, a lot of Mortal Kombat characters, etc., etc. There will be multiple characters from all these kinds of franchises allowed. Next on there is we have to account for characters who are not originally from fighting games but are featured in them. Those characters are allowed. As long as the character has been in a fighting game, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if they're originally from a fighting game, doesn't matter if they're a guest character in a fighting game, etc., etc. As long as they are in a fighting game to any degree. Rule number 3, or I guess 3 or 4, something like that. I'm not really counting them in that way, but the next rule, it has to be like an actual fighting game, not a wrestling or boxing game or anything like that. Basically what that ends up boiling down to is the character has to be fictional. They can't be like a representation of a real life person. So no like WWE 2K games, no boxing games, whatever they are, stuff like that. It has to be like an actual fighter. Whether it's done with fists or weapons or both in some cases. But yeah, they can be from, they don't have to actually be originating from a fighting game, but they do have to, it has to be a legitimate fighting game. And I think that's the majority of all the real like rules or anything that I have for this list. Not a whole lot to really go over with that. But yeah, I think overall that's going to make this the best list possible. Now, this list will be linked to down in the description below. The reasoning for such is just to be safe. As always, I redirect everything pretty much just to be safe and make sure that nothing goes wrong. Because even though I'm using royalty-free music, and also this list is going to be pictures, not video clips and stuff, just because it saves a lot of time. There's 50 entries. Even though I'm doing that, you never know. Someone can try to claim it, and I really don't want to go through any bullshit with that. You never know. So the list will be on BitChute and Google Photos. Like I said, it is going to be pictures, so it's going to be like, well, I think like 5 seconds per picture before it goes on to the next one, per entry, basically. And I'm going to try to get the pictures from the characters from the fighting game I'm, like, considering them from. Like, not, like, fan art or anything. The only time I might use fan art is if I can't find a really good picture otherwise. But hopefully that doesn't happen, because I don't want to use fan art to have to try and do everything involving that. Plus, I don't want to make the description too long with constantly crediting everything, you know? But yeah, so this list, again, is my personal opinion as well. You do not have to agree with it. You do not have to agree with the order of it or certain entries on it. Also, this is a subjective list based on my current choices. As in, basically, my opinion on this kind of stuff does, it wanes and everything. It goes back and forth. Like, right now, one character might be at this spot and another character at this spot, but they might end up getting closer, or even one surpasses the other, just through time and seeing the various games and whatnot, or playing them myself. Things can change, basically, is what I'm saying. This is the list as of current, though. So yeah, this will probably end up being outdated within a couple months, but most of the time, the list stays at least mostly the same. The order might change a little bit, or I might add a new entry, but that's about it. Either way, I do hope you enjoy, and tell me in the comments below what your favorite fighting game characters are and who you think is the hottest of them. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention, this will include both male and female characters, by the way. I have said it before, I am pan-romantic, which means I am attracted to pretty much anyone, regardless of gender. So it's not just going to be all females, even though, admittedly, I do tend to be attracted more to girls than to guys. There's not really much of any NBs in terms of fighting game characters, so there probably won't be any non-binary characters on here, unfortunately. I really hope that we get more non-binary fighting game characters in the future. But, yeah, unfortunately, there's really not much of anything to choose from with that. The kind of closest we get is, like, trans characters, like Poison, for example. But, yeah, either way, like I said, I hope you enjoy the list. Tell me who you think are the hottest characters and why down in the comments below. And if you want to know why any of these choices are on my list, or why the certain order or whatnot, or why one character is higher than another or lower than another, please feel free to ask. I'm willing to elaborate on anything down below, but in order to save time and just not make a video that's almost an hour long. Actually, with 50 entries, it would be probably almost 2 hours long. In order to not make a video that long, I'm going to refrain from giving full descriptions on why in the actual video. But again, if you want to know my thoughts on any of that, please feel free to ask in the comments. In the meantime, thank you once again for tuning in, and for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See you all at the list.
And though you've come through many obstacles,